You know, how awkward would it be if I just mentioned 9/11 and started blubbering? Or anything worse than somebody cries like way too long after 9/11.
Oh, by the way, we're sitting in Jim's fabulous hotel room, so that would really be uncomfortable.
Just creepy, yeah.
As long as the mics are on and I feel there's an audience, even though I can't see them, it wouldn't be that bad. But if we were just here by ourselves, which takes me back to a moment.
Cleveland?
Yes, I was in a hotel room pissed, and you knocked on the door and talked me off the ledge. It was the gig after the Philly gig where I was like, I knew that they were going to boo me again just to boo me. Rather than Philly, they booed me because they didn't like me. And then by the time the Cleveland gig, you guys gave me so many props that the crowd wanted to see it again.
Yeah.
So I was asking somebody there, hey, just put me on early. Give me a chance. Just give me a chance. Everybody's like, yeah, don't worry. And then I was in the exact same spot. I go out there and I just walk out. I'm on for 2 seconds. They just start booing me. Just to boo me, and I was like, look, I'm not going to pretend to get mad because you guys are pretending to boo me, and it didn't go anywhere. And I got off stage, and I was livid. I remember me and Jeff Will still laugh about it because Jeff was like, no, I'm sorry. I was like, you, fuck this, man, you, this, stay, everything. And I left. I think I threw a water bottle.
Yeah, you were very unhappy.
I was not happy. And, because I catastrophize in my head, so I was like going, oh, my God, I've become the boo-em guy, and I'm going to go everywhere I go. I kind of forgot because I had been on the Virus tour long enough that, to me, a normal show was 10,000 people.
Right.
And I wasn't thinking, like, my next gig after that tour, I was at the Punchline. It's like a cozy 200 people, and I can see everyone, you know. And so if anybody's with me, I could get them. And so anyways, so I go back to the hotel room, ready to quit the business, and I hear a knock on the door, and you came walking in and talked me off the ledge.
I remember that. I don't even remember what we spoke about. I just remember you were very upset, and I knew why. And you were like, and I was like, dude, they did it because they were trying to recapture a moment that they wanted to be a part of something that was very amazing to them, as opposed to they hated you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but
no.
I didn't.
And I was convinced everyone was out to get me. The crowd, the show, Live Nation, everybody.
I'm still convinced they're out to pay. I couldn't get on the Oddball tour this year. I can't get on the Oddball tour, and they're doing the Tweeter Center and
you played half
PNC.
those places.
What's that?
You've played half of those places.
Yeah, and I can't get on the. I couldn't get upset on the Oddball.
Whatever. They'll have it next year.
Because then you're on stage in front of 10,000 people, and getting an unfair booing. That was when we first started on K-Rock.
Right.
And you had been the XM listeners loved you, but the K-Rock listeners didn't know you as well at that point because it was a new thing and you had been away. And they're booing you, and you pull out one of the great moments of stand-up that I've ever witnessed, which was just turning 10,000 Philadelphia monsters. And they're the worst crowds in the world if they don't like you, and you turned them. You did the impossible, and that's like.
Well, I lucked
years
out
of
the
that.
sports thing. There was enough Jersey and New York sports fans, you know, the Patrick Division and whatever, the National League East or whatever. There's enough Mets fans that hated the Phillies. There's enough fans that everybody hates the Flyers, you know, except for Philly fans. So I was able to do that. But what was funny was when I finished that set, I felt bad because you had to go on next, and I was like, oh, God, you know, when a comic burns down the room. And that was not like, you can burn down the room, I feel, as the headliner. But to burn down the room when there's another guy going up on basically your showcase night, I was sitting there. I thought you were going to be mad at me. And and you went out, never addressed what just happened, went right into your act and smashed him.
Yeah, I mean, again, they knew me though. It was like the terrestrial crowd knew me, so I had to, you know, it was kind of like, you know, they were expecting me to come out, but I felt, you know, if that show had occurred 6 months after that,
right,
when that crowd knew you, that never would have happened. That was a really weird transition time. But what you did with that crowd, I mean, yeah, it was the sports knowledge, but it was about the ability to pull that out in front of all those people, because it took a while. They didn't just start laughing.
Well, you know what? I'd been booed before. I got booed on a Vegas show. And I didn't leave, but I didn't know. The first time you get booed, dude, it's unreal. It's like, it's the weirdest experience because you have exactly what you want, the total focus of the crowd, but the exact opposite emotion.
Right.
I've always compared it to, like, you know, when they do the reverse echoes on those Zeppelin things to make it seem like you're in hell, like the echo comes first before your voice. That's like sort of the stand-up version of that, where it's like they're cheering but they're booing. It's the most up thing. And And I remember after getting booed, just walking through the hotel, going back to my room, and I started thinking about people in the crowd. And it's like, all right, Bill, you got booed, but you let that guy boo you? You let that woman with that awful dress, that guy with the big head, you could have at least said that. It was just so shocking the first time it happened. And also I did a lot of those, the uptown rooms, as they called them, the black rooms.
Black crowds, yeah.
So you kind of had to get, I was in fighting shape. So it somehow, I just remember Opie coming through the curtain. Opie and Ant, I think he had his glass of red wine, and Opie just came walking through and was just like, he goes, that was one for the ages, bro. And just came walking out. And what was funny was you went out and killed, and the second that was done, that was the end of the show. And then they brought me back out for the curtain call, and I got booed again, half clapping, half booing. And I remember there was this dude who ran up to the stage. He was going, Bill Burr, he's screaming. He's going, you. And I'm going, what? And he's giving me the finger. He's going, you. And I kept going, what? It's like, you're giving me the finger. How do I not know? I just kept going, I can't hear you. I literally got him hopping mad. He was jumping up and down, screaming, giving me the finger. I just kept going, I can't. And I kept cupping my ear like, I can't hear you. And the guy went, you. And I just laughed at him. And that was the end of it. And I remember I rode back with Bobby Kelly. And I had a splitting headache after it, and I just remember riding back with Bobby, and he was just laughing, going, dude, do you realize you just told 10,000 people to go for themselves? And I was dreading it because I was like, I know somebody filmed that, because I thought when it got on the internet, I knew comics would appreciate it, but I didn't know if fans would get it, if they would just be like, oh, you got booed, you sucked. If this guy, everybody laughing at you, because can kind of go either way. But whatever. We're here for you here.
No. That to me was that was a fascinating thing to watch, because it was legitimately funny stuff. It wasn't like you were obnoxious and got the crowd. Like, you were really pounding them like a comic. Like, that's what was so fun about it. If you had just taken your pants off and waved your cock at them, and like, all right, any idiot could. Well,
still hilarious though.
But that would have been much better, obviously. But I mean, that was still, that would have been like instant legend. But the fact that you got them as a comic,
I saw a guy do that.
Did you?
I'm not going to say because I don't want to get him in trouble.
Sure.
But I saw when I was doing late nights at the Cellar. Do you remember how they used to have that water pipe they used to hang?
Sure.
And this guy used to go up. He's a madman. And he used to hang from that pipe by one arm, and he'd have this crazy look on his face. He looked like Charles Manson. I'm trying to let you know who this guy was, right? So he went on stage, and he's doing his thing, and, like, really just one of these great comics where, like, just the pain of whatever he went through is right there on the surface. So if anybody moves, he's going to cut their head off. So there was some woman who was all dressed up or something sitting, she's in her 50s, and she's not laughing. And he just keeps looking at her, and he just finally just starts going like, isn't that right, Mom? Huh? Mom, Mommy. And he got in her face, and he finally just goes, Mom, and screamed in her face, and she got, like, mad. And she goes, she started giving him, and he said, like, lady, he got to the point, it's like, lady, if you don't shut up, I'm going to take my dick out and slap you in the face with it. And she goes, you don't have the balls. And he goes, oh, I don't have the balls? And he starts unzipping his pants. The crowd is going nuts because they think he's joking. And he pulled his dick out. And he had it by the shaft, and just his purple head is coming out. And he made these machine gun noises, like right in her face, dude. Place went ballistic. And he ended his set there. And Wanda, who was hosting at the time, up-and-coming Wanda Sykes, I think she was the host, outroed her, and then brought me up. Was it Wanda? Wanda hosted one of the ones. I can't remember. So brings me up, and I had to go on after him, and I was still new to New York, and I was already going to bomb. And he took his dick out and shook it in this woman's face. And, dude, I can't even tell you how hard I ate it. And I was too green. I didn't know to be like, just riff about the guy taking his dick. Dude, I went up and tried to do my act. I immediately went up and like, gee, it's been raining a lot here in New York City. It just completely flatlined.
Yeah, it's like walking into a party and not acknowledging what's just been happening. Yeah,
it was awful.
Yeah, I think I know who you mean, man.
Yeah, there you go. if you watch the Philly Rant, there's a time where I look over the DJ going, dude, why are you yelling out me up? I vaguely remember doing that, but what it actually was Patrice was trying to help me. He yelled out Invincible, which would have been a great one to bring up about Philly, which was about a guy who was working in a bar, tries out for the Eagles. Not only does he get a tryout, he makes the team and has an impact. Like, I could have just gone off on how bad the Eagles sucked. And all right, size issues. Oh, Jesus, here we go again. Maybe you need a motorcycle. All right. Size issue. ¿Qué pasa, Bernardo? Hola, Bernardo, ¿qué pasa? Ocho. We all know your disability to read properly. Well, you know what? You don't even know how to write a sentence properly. Half of this is I get too far in front of myself, and the other half is you guys don't know how to write a sentence. We all know your disability to read properly. Is that even written correctly? Or am I a moron again? We all know you have a disability when it comes to reading properly. Isn't that how it's supposed to be? So I don't fuck. So I'm going to give it my best shot to keep it very short. Look at you coming with the arrogance like you have all life figured out, right? You got something tattooed on your rib cage. As you may have read the subject title of this email, you may already know where this is heading. Yeah, you seem pretty cocky for a guy with a little dick. He says, I recently got into an argument with my girlfriend, who I've been with for a little more than 2.5 years, where she told me that she wished I had a bigger dick. Oh, man. Yeah, that relationship is over, dude. That relationship is over one of two ways. Either one, she's just trying to be so mean to you that you break up with her because she doesn't want to be the bad guy, or she's just such a self-involved human being that she doesn't realize, like, how mean that is. That'd be like you said, yeah, no, I like you. I wish your tits were bigger. That would just be the meanest thing. Why would you say that to somebody that you cared about? That's a horrible thing to say, sir. You know what? You started off as an arrogant. Now I'm feeling bad for you. Dude, that's not the mother of your kids. Just take the dick out of the equation. What if you just said your nose is too big? That's just that's just something a terrible person says. She goes, I was shocked to hear this and didn't know what to say. There's nothing to say. There's nothing you can do about it. This is the first time she ever mentioned my penis size. Also the first time in my life, by the way, I guess anybody's ever brought it up. To be honest, I don't know that I'm not well endowed with my 5.5-inch rocket. You're a little below average, sir. I'm not going to lie to you. Now I'm being mean. You know, you can grab the rim, but you can't stuff it home, if you know what I mean. And I did have insecurities about it in the past, but learned to accept it and moved on. I never heard any of my former bed partner girls complain, and the sex was usually great. I know that it may sound ridiculous, but those few words were heartbreaking to hear and put a big giant stain on my confidence. Yeah, that's a terrible thing that she said. I haven't felt like having sex ever since she made that remark, and I am afraid it's going to be a while. I haven't spoken to her since the argument, since I work a lot. We don't live together. I know it's a stupid thing to be upset about. No, it isn't, sir. You're 100% in the right. 100% in the right. And he goes, and I usually don't really care about penis sizes, but hearing that you're small from your own girlfriend is a whole other story. I'm typically not that guy that gets back at her by pointing out her physical flaws, but I don't know where to go from here. It's even been difficult texting with her. What do I do, Bill? Got any advice? Okay, you said you don't know where to go from here. I can tell you exactly where to go. Right out her front door. That's it. It's a wrap, sir. It's a wrap, okay? Now listen, I'm not saying that she's wrong for wanting a bigger dick, okay? Like, she needs more to satisfy her or whatever, or she just wants to go out and bang some big dick dude at this point. All right? You know, but her tact is wrong. Okay? You would accept it yourself, which is one of the greatest things you can do that leads towards being happy every day, which leads you to treating the people around you respectfully,
which leads them to treating you respectfully, which leads to more happiness. She with the core of your happiness. You know? You felt good about yourself. She pointed out something and made you feel horrible about yourself. It's one of the worst things she could have done as far as mentally to you. And right now, the last thing you want to do is go out and say the same thing to her. All right? If you really want to do, just paraphrase what I just said. And just I don't know. And I would just leave it at that. And the childish thing to do, this is what, if you really want to get her back, just say, and the childish thing for me to do would point out some of your physical flaws. And the great thing is you leave it ambiguous. Okay? And I guarantee you, she's going to be in a bathroom mirror staring at herself, if you want to get mean. Okay? But, you know what but I got to tell you something, what's even better, you got to have this, what's known as the self-esteem breakup. Okay? Which you're totally in the right here, and you just say, listen, all right, what you said to me, I used to feel good about myself, and what you said to me messed with the core of my own happiness and how I feel about myself. And that's not what I'm looking for in a girlfriend or a potential wife. And I just can't see you ever being a good mother. If you would say something like that. It's just something along those lines. I don't know. I keep going mean. Don't go mean. Whatever I just said. I was just trying to paraphrase what I said. But, dude, this is you should feel good about yourself, all right? You know, you're not a porn star, but you're also, you know, you're not like you're not what she's making you out to be here, all right? That's it. You're still in the game, sir, okay? You're not part of the starting five. Hey, neither am I. You know, but you and I, we come off that bench, okay? We're the kind of guys. We're the guys that go in the corners, right? Yeah, man, that's you're 100% advice. My advice would be that this girl is not anywhere near the level of maturity she needs to be, and might never even get to that level. The only redeeming thing that I can say to her is she has such a difficult time doing what she wants to do in life that maybe she wanted to break up with you for a while and she didn't know how to do it and was building up, and then there was just an argument and then she just said that. Or, I don't know. Have you said anything to her? I have no idea. Oh, it's funny. He says, thanks for the weekly podcast. You have no idea what it means to me. See you in Amsterdam. Well, from what this other guy was writing, sir, there's a bunch of beautiful ladies out there in Amsterdam. Yeah, dude. They're all riding bikes. They're in great shape. Go out and go find yourself a sweetheart. All right? All right, there you go. Okay.
Well, I wish I could just have one, but it's not satisfying because you have one and then you want 100, and then you drink 100 and then you feel like shit. And like if I just drink one, like if I have one at lunch, then it's like I want to go take a nap. If
really?
I either got to keep going. If I keep going, I can go for like, you know, a good hardcore 4 or a gentleman 6. And then I'm done. But like do you
feel pulled to it?
No.
Is it like Gollum in the Ring?
No, I don't even know what that means. I just
Precious.
I just like it.
Precious.
No.
Yes.
No, I like
it wants us to drink. It's precious. Yes.
I don't even know what that is. I don't watch
You didn't see the Lord of the Rings? You didn't see the Lord of the Rings?
I went to one of those and it was so long, and every time they would fade to black, I'd be like, just roll the credits. Just roll the credits. And then they would open up on some big field, and it's just like, Jesus, get the thing back to the guy so we can get out of here. I hate all of those movies, and I hate people who don't have a sense of humor about that they watched when they were kids, like adults who talk about Star Wars. Like that isn't a weak movie now when you watch it. I mean, how
it's terrible.
It's horrific. I was making fun the other night. I came home. I got free Cinemax, which is the greatest channel ever. They either 24 hours a day they're either showing the greatest movie ever or the worst movie ever, and it's all compelling. I watched like 9 movies in a row. Like this channel's unbelievable. So I ended up flipping up because late at night they just had some sort of softcore porn, which is ridiculous now when you have the internet. So it just was redundant. So I got off of that. So I went on to VH1 and they were playing this show Metal Mania. And I was watching all these bands and these videos that I just thought were sick and they're into the devil. Dude, I was just, by the end of it, I was like, how was this better than disco? Like, why did disco get so much, like, I'm not talking about, like, the Iron Maidens, the Metallicas, but you know what I'm talking about. That middle of the ground, those people with the spiked gloves and all this stupid raw meat. And it was horse. I watched it. It was the dumbest. It was embarrassing that I mean, granted, I had all of that music still on my iPod. I'm not above it. But if someone were from this generation were to come back and tell me that music was awful and was stupid, I would laugh. There's no way I could defend it.
Isn't it weird how you look at, like, if you look at music or you look at movies, that's like one of the clearest examples of, like, some sort of evolution or progress is going on with humans. Because, like, the movies of the past, like, so many of them they're so clunky, and the style of communicating is so artificial. It looks, it's such a representation of life in comparison to a real good movie.
Until the 60s, once they figured out, like just acting on film, like those people just learning how to do it. So everything was gonna be not, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Like that type of acting had to go away with the Brandos and the James Deans and those guys,
right.
and then you had to have like there's a couple like there's movies back there like Jack Lemmon, The Apartment.
Well, The Hustler
is way ahead of its time. The Hustler,
The Hustler's
anything
an
by
amazing movie.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah,
that type of.
There were some
still,
people that were
still
getting
holds
it
up
right.
though.
But the bad movies from the 60s and the 70s, try to watch like Jaws 3D.
Oh yeah, no, that's just bad. That's a bad one.
There's some bad
but
movies.
they still have movies like
Sure.
that. I mean,
I
think a lot of
for
that,
sure to this day.
that Transformers, even though I didn't see it.
But if you see,
I never vibe with sci-fi people, like sci-fi listeners. I always get trashed by them because I just don't get it. Unless
you don't get sci-fi at all.
No, if it's like Aliens, like it has to be high quality. Like Aliens is like the Goodfellas of that I like on like top shelf sci-fi. I'm going to be into Blade Runner, Aliens, and that type of shit. But if I'm just going to go watch, we're in Hoth. I don't know what that's from. What is Hoth? That's a Star Wars thing?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, like one of those things with the action figures. And it's just.
Did you like Transformers growing up?
I didn't like Chewbacca. I didn't get Chewbacca. It's like, dude, you're a
He's
fucking
an awesome guy to have around. He's huge.
Yeah,
Can you imagine you could party with Bigfoot? I would totally party with Bigfoot.
but he should be ripping somebody's arms off. He's shooting a gun like he's
Well, he's a badass.
He's limited.
He knows how to shoot guns too. He'll rip your arms off, but he can also shoot you from a distance. Bitch.
He's limited.
Oh, I like Chewbacca.
Star Wars.
I would totally hang out with him.
You know what
I think
I
he'd be
didn't,
cool
you know what
as
I didn't
fuck.
like about him? He was a follower.
Well,
He started hanging
He's a
out
little
with all the
beta.
humans. And next thing you know, he's sitting upright in chairs.
Right.
Sipping little juicy juices. Right.
Yeah. I wonder if he can understand
didn't
us.
like him.
Could they understand him? They could speak that? Could Han Solo speak?
I think it was a language, but we just didn't understand it. So
He
all
said
that
the
was
same
probably
thing every time.
Not that many Wookiees. It's like Chewbacca and like there's no other famous Wookiees.
No, he was like the dodo bird of.
Isn't that weird?
We're going to be destroyed on Twitter because our Star Wars knowledge sucks, and we're going to get this shit forever.
Oh, there's a fucking million Wookiees. There is a nation of Wookiees. There is a federation of Wookiees. You know not what you're talking about.
Yeah, but there's nothing better than just having a 10% knowledge of those movies and just criticizing them because it's just driving some kid nuts.
Oh my God!
Here's a good one. Should I kick my neighbor's ass?
Yes.
Yes. Generally speaking,
We're gonna
yes.
go with yes.
Hey, Bill, love the
Is
podcast.
that what time it is?
No,
Damn.
that's East Coast.
Oh, okay.
That's why people put it as a podcast. I need some advice on what to do about this guy who lives in a few houses down from me. I'm a third-year college student, and I live at home. My parents moved to go live in the state above mine. You mean north? And I currently reside alone while they are trying to sell the house. A few months ago, I was driving home coming back from a gym, and while I was driving in my neighborhood, I saw this guy step in the middle of the road about 20 yards from my car. He was yelling something at me, but I couldn't hear what he was saying. I slowed down and stopped my car right in front of him, and he came to my window and told me to get out. I was totally confused and thought I ran over his cat or something. Also, I think he just moved in because I'd never seen the dude in my life. So I rolled down the window and asked, "What did you say?" He goes, "I'm going to kick your ass. Get out of the car." This guy's probably in his 40s and has to be around 5'10". Is this me? 250 pounds. That's not me.
No.
I'm 21, 6'3", 200. I do CrossFit and I wrestle occasionally at another gym I go to. So I get out of the car and I'm standing there trying to figure out what the hell is going on. The guy starts moving towards me, so I take the initiative and take a step towards him. We end up being an inch from each other, and he's trying to do some alpha male by just staring at me. But I have the height advantage, so I'm looking down at him. At least 10 seconds go by before the guy goes, "How fast do you think you were going back there?" I say, "I don't know, probably around 30. The speed limit in my neighborhood is 20, and I know I wasn't going that much over it." Then he goes, "I'm not going to have my children playing in the yard if I know like you are driving like that in the neighborhood." After he said that, I saw his wife and son were a little off to the side of the road. Once the word left his mouth, I was pissed. I wanted to just tackle the dick and put him to sleep in front of his wife and kid to teach him a lesson. But I pussied out and just apologized to him and said that I was really sorry and it wouldn't happen again. The guy then gives me a little smirk and turns around and says, while walking away with his back turned, "It better not, or you know what will happen."
Oh, yeah.
I gotta fucking walk
Yeah.
away.
You definitely should have kicked his ass.
Fucking cunt.
You should have kicked his ass. Yeah.
Do you realize?
Yeah.
Do you realize what this kid did? He's such a gentleman. He could have kicked the out of this
Yeah.
guy. He saw his wife and kid there. It would have been emasculating. His
Yep.
dad is Superman. He sits there. You know what it is? It's that little smirk.
Yeah.
That smirk. I bet that steals from work.
Yeah.
I bet he does. Sorry, dude. That's the first time. I literally had to walk away.
Yeah, you should have kicked that guy's ass. But it's a good. I
know,
suppose it's good that you didn't do it, but because you were
This is-
the
this is-
bigger person, as they say. But he definitely has it coming.
Then he writes, "Now after that I wanted to explode. I mean, the guy totally disrespected me, so I get in my car and drive off. End of story, wrong. I couldn't get this guy out of my head. Dude, I can't get it out of my head. I'm going to actually fantasize that I was there and he did that, what I would want to do. You know what I would do? I would wait till he was alone. Don't do this. Don't do this. But I know you just want to get the guy alone and be like, "Hey, what are you going to do now? Huh? What are you going to do now?" And just get right in his grill and have him back down.
Yeah.
Or I would almost just say to the guy, say, "Hey, listen, man, just call him over to the car and just say, listen, I just wanted you to know the other day that if I wanted to, I could have stuffed you in my trunk, tied you up like a pretzel, and ass raped you in front of your wife. But I chose not to, okay? Because I didn't want your son to know what a little, I can't say it, pussy
Yeah.
he has for it. That wouldn't have been homophobic either. I wouldn't even be talking about gay people. That's such a pussy move. Yeah. And if for some reason, but I'm no, then that's what you say. Maybe you do it like Columbo. Just say, "Listen, man, I got to ask you something. Because I'm 6'3", I CrossFit, I wrestle, okay? And just looking at you, I know I could tie you into a pretzel. I know I could do it if I wanted to. But the confidence you had, I just want to know, what is your background? You know? Because, I'm a real competitive guy. If you got some sort of martial arts training, I would love to have you. Why don't you come down to the gym sometime when your wife and kid aren't there so I don't have to feel guilty when I fill you up and close both your eyes with this one and his friend over here."
What does the rest of the thing say?
I don't even
'Cause
need
it's
to
not-
read it.
It's not, but it's not over though.
I know, because what's happening now, this is what happens when you do the right thing in life, okay? When, it eats away at you. You have to make peace. You have to make peace, and you got to tell yourself the lie that someday this guy's going to get his. And you know what? He doesn't. Guys like this don't get theirs. Oh, that smirk. This kid really painted a picture. This is driving me nuts. He goes, "I couldn't get this guy out of my head. A week went by, and I was still thinking about that." Dude, I would think about this guy 20 years from now. 2 weeks later, I was driving home from school, and I see the guy rolling his garbage can out to the curb. I slow down to under 20. And I know this because I look down at my speedometer. I pretend to stare the guy down, so I look at him, and he looks at me and yells out. Now, when he said that, I am raging. I wanted to stop my car and do some ground and pound on his face. Yeah, this kid knows what he's doing. This isn't wrestling. Like, this kid's doing UFC. But did I? No. I just drove off like a... The next day, I talked to my friend about it, about what had happened, and he said that this guy said the same to him. If he said it, he would have put him on his ass. I know. Dude, you know what I would have done? He told me that if he says he's going to kick your ass, then that's a threat so you can defend yourself. Don't listen to your dumb friend. He's saying you won't get arrested. So a few months have passed, and I'm still thinking about this every time I drive by his house. Fast forward to yesterday, and I'm biking in my neighborhood, listen to an iHawk, and I hear a honk from behind me. So I pull my bike over to the side of the road, and it's none other than the same dude in his Ford F-150 driving along, and he looks at me and gives me the middle finger.
Wow.
Now, granted, I was in the middle of the road and didn't hear the guy coming because I was listening to music, but still the middle finger. So I bike home, take a shower, and try to convince myself to walk over to the dude's house and confront him. But after a couple minutes of pacing, I just decide to wait it out until it does one more thing. I mean, I don't want to get arrested. So my question is, what the hell should I do? I mean, every time I drive by this guy's house now, I want to veer off the road and ram my car into the middle of his living room. Any advice would be good. All of my friends think I should go over there, but I want a second opinion. You can't do anything to this guy.
Unless he puts his hands on you
Unless he
first.
puts his hands on you.
You
This is
can't
just
do
one of these
anything.
things. But you can do to him what he's doing to you. This guy has an insane temper. So, you know, I'm not advocating legally, so you don't do this, but like, I don't know what I would next time, you know, if you see him out in the yard or something, this is what you do. I have a great idea. Do you have any friends who are really good mechanically? Why don't you take your credit card out, go down to the auto store or whatever, or go online and buy like one of those train horns and have it installed in your car. And next time you drive down the street, just be sort of zigzagging down the street just to get this guy to be, you know, getting all like, bro, what the? And the second he starts screaming, you lay on that horn as loud as humanly possible and you blow out his eardrums. That's what I would. But then again, no one douche like this, he would say that I have permanent hearing damage.
You know what I think you should do? Maybe because I'm a female and I'm all about
Revenge. Okay.
psychological warfare.
What should he do?
I think when the husband is not home, I don't know if he knows his schedule or whatever, he needs to go over there when the wife is at home and be like, listen, you know, I'm so sorry about that time that I was speeding. I really, you know, but your husband seems really upset. I'm really not trying to be like that. I would never do anything like that. And women are like, oh, no, because she knows her husband is a psycho.
Right.
And like, I mean, she could turn around and be like, yeah, you shouldn't do that either. But I have a feeling she's not like that. And he can just go over and just make nice and be like the sweet kid that's helping out. And, oh, do you need me to take the barrels out?
He needs vengeance.
And then I feel like maybe that would put the husband, and he's like sitting there sipping tea with the wife. And, oh, look who came over. He just wanted to apologize in person. And, you know, I don't know.
You know what's a great thing to do?
And then it's the wife.
There you
No.
He should his wife. He should his wife.
He should play with his kid in the backyard, like toss the football around with him. Be more
No,
like,
you know,
the
that's
big
thing.
brother
You
he
can't,
never had.
You can't do. There's nothing like just start giving him
Replace
the
him.
finger. Listen, this is the deal. All you got to do is just give him the finger. Give him the finger right back, because this guy thinks you're right now. So all you got to do is, you know, you can just yell back. Just say, you know, just give him the finger. Yell back at him. When he's in the driveway, I would like swerve at him, and then swerve back just with the guy. He's not, I mean, just do that once, because the next time you might have like a video camera. But I just don't want to get any. I don't get any. You know what? If I was in that situation, dude, you know what I would do?
Monday morning quarterback.
Look, while I was in that situation with that other guy, right, at the last place we lived, and I didn't with him because he was an old guy. I just didn't with him, and now we found out he has dementia and all this. So I'm psyched. I never yelled at the guy. You know what you do now? You know what really diffuses angry guys like that, or makes them even more angry, is just laugh at him. Just keep laughing at him. Laugh at him, give him the finger, and just keep calling him tough guy. All right, there, tough guy. Anything, you just keep calling him anything that is remotely, all right there, Chuck Norris. Anything you want to say to this guy that will bait him into hitting you. This is a great question, and I don't want to get in trouble if some goes down. So you shouldn't do anything, sir. Wink, wink, wink. This guy's such a dick. I always say, with somebody's car is like a pussy move, but this guy's such a dick, and he has like such a. Oh my God, dude! How many times have you thought about just choke slamming that guy right into the hood of your car repeatedly?
When you
as his
said
wife
I
and
can
son
stuff you
cry.
into my trunk, bend you like a pretzel, and ass rape you in front
Yeah.
of your wife.
No, but if you just said it really calmly, if you said it calmly with sort of a smile on your face, you come off like a maniac.
Yeah, that's true.
If you scream that at somebody, you just sound like you're quoting like, Hulk Hogan or something, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, brother. Come this Saturday. I'm going to bend you into a pretzel and ass rape you. All right. Uber, everybody. Hey, you like making great money, right? Here's a really cool opportunity I had to share with you. This always starts off like it's a drug deal. Like, hey, man, you like making good money, right? Come on down the alley. You got a car and a driver's license? Driving with Uber. How old are you? Uber's that popular smartphone. Amazon sent me an email, Nia. What do you mean? Saying they're going to close my account by October 31st because I never filled out the thing that said I wasn't trying to interact with people 13 years of age or lower.
What?
On my website. Like I do the Amazon link. Like if you go into Amazon, if you just click the link and you go there, it doesn't cost you any money, but Amazon kicks me a little bit of money for driving traffic to their site.
Yes.
And then I take 10% of that.
Yes.
And I throw it to...
Wounded Warriors.
Not Wounded Warriors, anybody, because somebody told me that was a little sketchy. Is that sketchy? I have no idea. I don't know how to figure it out. But I found that St. Jude's is good.
Well, I don't think we should...
I'm finding with, like,
I don't think we
Wounded
should
Warriors...
say Wounded Warriors is sketchy.
I don't know if they are, but I find
I feel like we shouldn't say that.
I feel like Wounded Warriors, I want to walk up to the wounded guy and give him the money directly. Because I just feel like with the infrastructure...
Give him an envelope like in the Mafia?
Why not?
Sure. If you're going to locate all the Wounded Warriors and then personally
No, but I
hand it
figure
to
like
them.
whatever
But
I'm going to
this is
give...
what these organizations
if whatever
are
I
for.
give helps one guy, why don't I just... Or one woman, why don't I just walk up to that one person? So there's no infrastructure.
And how do you
I'll pay the gas money.
How do you propose that's going to work, Bill?
I got a podcast. I just said it.
Okay, so everyone's
reaches
going
out
to
to me.
email to you and claim to
Somebody
be a
reach out
Wounded
for what?
Warrior.
And then I'll have like a little, like one of those game show things with everybody's name in it, and I'll
Like a
fucking crank it
bingo.
around.
Like a bingo
Yeah,
thing.
and I'll pull it out. And the winner is.
Yeah, but they
And
can't.
all the money I'm giving goes to you.
But they can't prove that they're wounded by interacting with them on the internet. That's why you have Wounded Warriors and organizations like that. Like, because how are you going to know? Are you going to, like, do a home visit and then look around and be like, all right, and then whip out your checkbook?
You really just took all the sunshine out of that, didn't you?
Sorry.
Anyways, so Amazon goes, you never filled out something that basically said that your website is not interacting with people under like 13 years of... I don't know if they listened to the podcast and it was like me saying all this stuff and they're like, what about children?
So people who don't like cursing
I don't know what it is.
would
So now I
maybe
got to...
not like Amazon for
Yeah,
doing
so now they
business
made me
with you?
feel all creepy.
Well, why don't you just say that you're not interacting with 13-year-olds?
Well, why don't they ask me from the beginning and then not come at me later like you never said that? It's like, dude, you never asked me.
What do you mean? I thought you said they did ask you to say
No,
that.
they just send me a random email out of nowhere going, you never said this. It's like, dude, you never asked me.
Well, did you answer it?
No. I have until the 31st. You.
So what are we talking about?
I'm talking about them not asking the question and then coming at me like I'm some sort of fucking weirdo.
I think you're taking it a little too personally.
It isn't personally. You don't have somebody on the internet go, are you or are you not interacting with aimed at 13-year-olds? Yeah, it's weird. Fuck you, Amazon, you jerk-offs. Are you?
No.
Oh, what are they going to do?
Don't.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
I don't know.
The webs, what are they going to do? Not send me boxes of shit I don't need? You want to send your packages by drones? Huh?
Do they really?
Yeah, a bunch of toilet covers flying past your house. What? So they can save money, so they don't have to have some guy drive it. You know what? Amazon. Hit the link. All right, Uber, everybody.
You are never going to have another advertiser sponsor you again. You realize that, right?
I don't do it because of that.
That's true. You do it for the fans, man.
I do it because it's fun. If you're dumb enough to advertise on my podcast, just with my reading skills alone, I've already compared the Uber app to like drug dealers. I don't give a shit. I live within my means. I'm wearing tennis shorts.
Nantucket, you're such a rebel.
I drive an 8-year-old.
Such a rebel, Bill.
I drive an 8-year-old.
In your tennis shorts on the island of Nantucket.
You stop telling these maniacs where I am.
Oh, sorry.
That's one of the rules. You never tell them that. You leave them like, why is he wearing tennis shorts? Why would he be doing that? This guy's even weirder than I thought. I have to keep listening. Once you go, oh, he's on Nantucket, then they go, oh, now it all makes sense. Now they're not listening. And Uber loses money. All right, hey, guys, you like making great money, right? Here's a really cool opportunity I evidently had to share with you. Driving with Uber. Uber's that popular smartphone app that connects riders with drivers. I take Uber a bunch. Did you know that, Nia? I love them, by the way. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Nothing I like better than getting into a complete stranger's car that isn't regulated by any sort of government entity. Hey, buddy, how are you? Let's roll the dice again. Some of them have really interesting stories as to why they drive with Uber. Broke, man. I don't make enough money at my other job. Jesus Christ, is that interesting? They love being their own boss. Don't they work for Uber? They earn great money. Well, their cars are halfway decent. They must be investing it in real estate. It's easy to start. This happened because you're here. You just need a car and a license. Exactly. No other background check, is there? Driving with Uber, got off on a murder, a technicality. Hey, welcome to Uber. Driving with Uber is great for anyone who needs flexibility. Parents, this is a really easy way to work around your family schedule. Students, you can make some extra money between classes. Doesn't that sound filthy? Now's the prime time to cash in with driving with Uber. You'll thank me for telling you how to get paid every week. I could be getting into your car when you drive with Uber. Call to action. You got a car and a license. Put them both to work for you and start earning serious life-changing money today. Sign up to Drive with Uber. Visit drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com. Drivewithuber.com. Huh? I had a incident on the airplane going to Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
Where this guy, like, I don't know, this guy just started like interrogating me. He thought I was some sort of flight risk.
About what?
I don't know. He was on something. I don't know what happened. Like, I was sitting down.
So he's just a passenger.
Yeah, and I didn't know if he was a sky marshal, but he ordered a Dewar's in the beginning, and he just slammed it neat. Ooh. So I'm like, this guy's not a sky marshal. This guy's boozing it up. So he just goes to me. He's like, we're just sitting there. And he just says, he goes, hey, are you afraid to fly?
Oh, God.
And I'm like, what? He goes, are you afraid to fly? I go, no, I'm not afraid to fly. And he goes, you sure? Because, it's okay. You can tell me if you are. And immediately I'm looking at this guy. What do you mean it's like, okay? What is this like interrogation 101, build a relationship with your subject thing that you're doing here? And I was just like, no. He goes, he goes, all right, because, he's just kind of fidgeting and looking around. I was like, no, man. I go, I'm cool. He's like, oh, so you like to fly? I'm like, when I'm up here, because, I bump myself up. I go, when I'm back there, I don't like it. And then he's all right, But, you can tell me if you're afraid to fly. So now I'm just like, dude, I'm not afraid to fly. So, and he's staring at me, and I put my hand like this to show that it wasn't shaking. I go, I'm not nervous. All right? Thanks for asking. And then he goes, well, anybody can do that. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I just said, look, dude, I'm drinking water. You're drinking Dewar's. Okay? And he goes, that wasn't Dewar's, right? And I'm just like, all right, this guy. So I'm sitting there.
You saw him order it.
Huh?
You saw him order a Dewar's.
Oh, I was sitting there. He said, let me get a Dewar's. And she brought it over neat. And he threw it back like he was drinking baby milk. Right? I was impressed. This guy's old school. Starting off good, right? So then there's like 5 minutes of silence. More passengers are getting on.
And then the guy goes, hey, I'm sorry, man. I just got off on the wrong foot there. Right? He goes, my name's so-and-so. What's your name? Asked me, like, what my name is. And I was thinking of saying something like Steve, and or some silly.
Lenny Clark.
I wish I said some silly name, but
Right.
I didn't think of one. I just went, it's Bill. And he goes, oh, cool. He goes, why are you going to Indianapolis, Bill? He started doing this. And I just look at the guy, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have to answer your questions.
Whoa.
I don't. He has no authority. You're not a sky marshal. You're drinking booze. What are you on? Are you afraid to fly? Go for yourself. Leave me alone, right? So then he goes like, all right, now I am concerned. Okay? I am concerned. Okay? Why are you going to Indianapolis, Bill? Right? He says this, right? And they close the doors, and they're doing all this stuff. And I just start like, I joked on my podcast. I just started smirking like Ryan Gosling. He does that little Mona Lisa smile. You just kind of smile, and I'm just sitting there shaking my head at the guy, right? And I'm literally taking out my eye pillow. I wear like a mask just to say I'm so not worried about anything that you're going to do. All this passive aggressive just to piss this guy off. And he's going, why are you going to Indianapolis, Bill? And I just kept, I didn't say anything to him. I just kept laughing, just kept shaking my head. And was taxiing down. And he goes, dude, he goes, I do this for a living. He starts F and all this stuff. The lady in front turns around, starts looking, and we're taxiing down the thing. He goes, you don't answer my questions right now. I'm going to hit that call button. I will hit that call button. I will stop this plane, and you will be arrested, like saying all this stuff. And I'm just looking at him, smiling, shaking my head, like, go ahead and push it, dude. Let's see where this goes. This is going to be hilarious. What happens? Does the pilot come out?
Right.
Does a police car pull up to the plane? No clue. So he goes to push it, and he can't find it. It was kind of a weird place, and he finally finds it, and he hit the button. I'm like, oh, he hit the button. This is hilarious. And I'm just sitting there. He goes, now you wait, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting there smiling, shaking my head at him like, dude, I don't care. I don't care. You're not, you have no authority. You're not going to hit me. You're not going to do anything. You're on something.
Right.
But I'm not getting that. Dude, if that guy had a vibe like he was going to punch me, I would have been up in the aisles. But he didn't. He just had like that. It was like a kid throwing a temper tantrum. He wanted like this. He almost seemed like he wanted to be an Army Ranger, but he didn't quite make it. Or
What did he look like? What did he look like?
He was like a wiry. He was in good shape, wiry dude, white dude.
Like that dude who that Trayvon Martin kid who wasn't really a cop.
Yeah.
But he wanted to be a cop, so he took it to the next level. When
And
he
here's
was
the
a
thing:
security guard.
I could have squashed the whole thing and just been like, "Look, I'm a comedian. I'm
Right.
going to Indianapolis. If you'd like to come out to the show, I could have done that. But I'm a dick, and I hate authority. And this guy doesn't have any, so him. So I just laughed. Now he pushes the button. So then the stewardess comes over, and she goes, yeah, what's the problem? He goes, this guy is a flight risk. I am not comfortable flying with him, but blah, 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 and all this. I was surprised how few people were looking around. People were just kind of sitting there, and this guy was wigging out. And I'm just sitting there, and then the stewardess was like, all right, did anybody else see any behavior? And the lady was sitting in front of him, pointed at him and said, yeah, he was berating, and she pointed at me. He was berating him. And I'm just like, perfect. So I'm literally putting my eye mask down as I'm talking to him, just going, hey, I'm just a guy trying to go to Indianapolis. This guy's drinking Dewar's, and he's dropping the F. And then I'm thinking, if I said bomb, like it was going to be a problem. But that wasn't a problem. And this guy's just doing this thing where he wants to win. He wants some sort of recognition of whatever the f he thinks he is.
And the plane's still moving.
No, at this point, it stopped. It pulled over. I forgot that part. It pulled over and stopped. Dude, it's a red eye, okay? It stops. Another stewardess comes over and he goes, what's the problem? And he goes through the whole thing. And it's like basically the captain at this point is going, do I really have to come back there? It's like, really? The red-eye flight? My last flight of the day? I used to fly combat missions. You know how boring this is to fly this bus? I don't want to deal with this. Do I really have to come back there? And then they finally asked him, they said, hey, are you going to be comfortable flying with this guy? And he, I think they acknowledged that he had some sort of something there. So he goes, you know what? No, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Just whatever, right?
That he had some sort of something.
Like some sort of power that, like, they checked with him. Like, you going to stand down, sir? Like, whatever spy he thought he was. So now we get back in line, and we're taxiing, and as we're going down the runway, I got my eye thing on, and I'm just sitting there, and he's yapping in my ear. He goes, you think this is over? You think this is over? And at this point, I'm laughing. I'm holding my stomach, and I'm fucking laughing, and it's driving him nuts, and I'm having a ball with this guy. And he goes, my dad's the CEO of some company in Indianapolis, and he starts saying that he's going to have me arrested when I land. And he started describing the view I was going to see from the jail, like some Law and Order episode. Oh, you're going to
Did you get a picture of this guy?
Did you take a photo?
No.
Oh, how could you not?
You should have been filming video this whole entire time. on
Yeah,
your
that would
phone,
be
man.
amazing.
You could.
Why can't you just be in the moment and not turn into a film crew? And just,
No, because then the
was
story's
having
even
fun.
better.
The universe gave me this moment.
Right.
I'm telling this story. I don't, you know. So he, so then I got my things down, and then he's going, yeah, you're gonna love the view from the jail. You can see Lucas Oil Field and blah 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 and all this. And then he finally
Lucas Oil Field.
Yeah, that's where the Colts play. Telling me like this view, dude. It was such hacky interrogation. Then he finally said, he goes, you know what? I'm glad. You know what? I hope you do something. I hope you do something. We're up there, and I'm first.
What?
It was not.
I hope you do something.
And I'm sitting there with a blindfold on, laughing at him. It was driving him nuts. It was great. So then, 5 minutes of silence, 10 minutes of silence goes by, and I'm finally thinking that maybe this is over, or is he just sitting there staring at the side of my head? And then all of a sudden, I just hear, right as I'm starting to nod off, I just hear, "Why are you going to Indianapolis, Bill?" And I just laughed. So, dude, my adrenaline was going. I was just like, wow, they're going to stop the plane. This is intense, man. This is crazy. What's going to happen? And I'm totally innocent, so I got to kind of watch it happen. So then I couldn't sleep. So I was sitting there with that stupid mask on for like a half an hour, and then finally I was just like, I got to take it off, and I got to deal with this guy. And I take it off, and I look over, and he's just passed out, head hanging, this, special ops guy.
You know what you should do?
Completely passed out.
You should waylay him with a huge haymaker right in the face, and then immediately pretend you're asleep.
No, because someone would have seen that. So
They're all asleep.
No, you know what I did? Was I immediately started pounding waters because I didn't have to go to the bathroom, and I wanted to get up on the plane just to see if he was going to wig out again. Make some sort of...
So you made yourself go to the bathroom
No,
on
I
purpose?
started slamming waters.
Just so that you would have water in your bladder?
So now I have to go to the bathroom like you can't believe, and this guy's passed out. I held it for the last hour. He didn't wake up until we landed, and then we pulled up to the terminal, and I got out, and I stood up, and he wouldn't look at me, and I'm thinking, hey, he probably slept it off, and now he's feeling weird, hopefully. And the lady in front of me got up, and she just goes, she smiled, and she said, hey, and I just said, hey, that was an interesting one. And then he had the pillow like this, Joe. He had it behind here in some weird position, in some sort of like alpha male way. He tried to get some sort of tough thing, the last word. He took the pillow out, and he threw it down between his legs, and he like grunted. He went like, ugh, like he threw a pillow down. That was it. That was my trip to Indianapolis.
Oh my God! Dating an ugly girl. Sorry about the clicking here, everybody. Dating an ugly girl. Hey, Bill, I just recently started listening to your podcast at work, and I got to say, great job, man. Thank you very much. You say some truly funny and inspiring stuff. Thank you. I wanted to ask for your advice on a troubling matter of mine. I recently started dating a girl that I met on an internet dating site. That's unreal. I wish that was around when I was single. And I was a young man, had a full head of hair, right? Jesus Christ, it's like going to the supermarket just picking out fruit. You know? Oh, Jesus Christ. If you're letting your ego get in the way of doing that, you're out of your goddamn mind. Still going out paying a cover charge? I guess there's the sport of that. You know, not having the gun cocked, walking around with the shotgun broken over your arm, right? Having your boy go flush him out of the bushes. Every once in a while, though, wouldn't it be nice to fish in a stock pond? Anyways, you said we met on an internet dating site. We get along great. We got along great through emails, but when we met, I was surprised to see how ugly her face was and how slightly off she smelled. You know, I just did such a great commercial for why you should do internet dating, and now you've convinced me that I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, so what do you need advice at this point? She has an ugly face and smells bad. So what? Jesus. I just saw it's dating an ugly girl. Okay, well, I'm intrigued now. Well, what do you look like, sir? Are you a little off, and do you smell? Do your smells combine and actually smell like something good? Can that happen? Can two negatives make a positive in smells? I know they do in math. Needless to say, I was coming out of a dry spell. Also, she has a great body, so I put the moves on her. I never actually hesitated. You should have taken a shower with her. That was the move right there. You should have taken a shower with her and banged it doggy style. Jesus Christ, do I got to hold your hand over to the water fountain? Anyways, he goes, so I put the moves on her. I never actually hesitated. I just went on being myself around her and talking to her, and now we're together. The sex is amazing. I knew it. I knew the sex would be amazing because there's no other reason to stay with. If somebody's ugly and they smell, they better fish out of you, or, they better find a new career because their game is over. Playoffs? No. Your season's over. You're playing for a first-round draft pick. All right, amazing. She has a pretty deep voice. Jesus Christ. This is like the Money Pit, except instead of a house, it's a woman. All right, she has a pretty deep voice for a lady. So when we bang, it's the only time she talks and acts like a woman. Dude, if you get to the end of this and this person has had a change operation, I'm not going to be surprised. Jesus Christ. Do I continue? Yeah, I got nothing better to do. And he goes, blah, 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 and we get along great. She's like the best friend I never had. Yeah, I'm sure. She'd probably lift more weights than you, too. Seriously, we make each other laugh a lot, and we're always learning and growing intellectually with each other. My dilemma is this. I'm a pretty handsome guy, and when we go out together, people always stare, give us angry or confused looks. Oh, come on, man. That might be in your head. I think that a lot of that might be you being self-conscious. Confused look, like, why is this great-looking guy with this piece of dog meat? I don't know if that's your ego or you're dating the ugliest thing ever. You said she's got a nice body. So, you know what I mean? Throws on a little makeup, does some with her hair. Maybe combs it in her face a little. Becomes 50% less, this is just getting meaner by the second. My dilemma is this. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I haven't introduced her to any of my friends and family yet because I'm afraid of what they'll think of me and how they will judge us behind our backs. Also, I don't want ugly kids, and that's pretty important to me. Oh, my God. Why are you with this person, sir? You're saying horrible things. She has an ugly face, she smells bad, and you think she's going to make ugly children. What the... You know what it is? Your dick is still making the decisions in your life, sir. That's why you're still with this person. And secondly, just because you're good-looking and you get with a good-looking person, that doesn't mean you're going to have a good-looking kid. All right? That's one of the fallacies out there. I can name a couple celebrity couples. Drop gorgeous, had an average-looking kid. Because you know what it is? It's not like you're beautiful and you're beautiful, so together you make beauty. No, it's you're combining your features. You know what I mean? There's a lot of average. I can tell you right now, more times than not, average-looking people have stunning kids. They have just as good a chance of making stunning kids. This is like that show I was talking to you about like a few weeks ago, when I was talking about like when people give like Michael Jordan's kid because he's not as good as his dad at basketball. It's like, well, he's only half his dad. He's Michael Jordan cut with Michael Jordan's wife. Okay? And if she has no leaping ability, okay, and can't even catch a beach ball underhanded, that's going to with the son's ability to go to the rack. You know? So anyway, sir, I'll read the rest of this book. Anyways, I don't want ugly kids, and that's pretty important to me. She truly is an amazing person, and in a perfect world, I wouldn't hesitate to make her my wife. But the fact is, I'm too much of a to completely accept her into my life. Well, you know what? You're man enough to admit that you're a... That's a good step, which it is. But I don't really want to hurt her feelings. Her life is already pretty hard because of how she looks. Dude, what? Does she live under a bridge? What is the problem? What should I do? Am I too selfish and vain? Any advice in this matter would be appreciated. Well, the problem is, sir, you've stayed with her long enough that she's starting to get into your heart. You know, she was in your balls first, but then, you know, now she's up in your chest. So, what would you do? Well, you have to make the choice. Look, you either accept her for who she is and you introduce her to people around you, or you get rid of her, because you're going to hurt her. You know? That's it. I don't know what else to tell you. I hope I didn't come off like a dick there, but I mean that's the deal. You got to make the choice. All right.